Lord Adebayo, you are the first one on this platform so far. Always number one. Since we came here, you've always been number one. Eric Osadolo has always followed suit. So nice to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. Yomi Jegede, welcome. Victoria Salau, yep, welcome. Mofe Lola, welcome. Deati, Eric Lindu, Flair Karim Matip, welcome. Bola Luro, welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and share the link as we're coming in so that we could invite people since they will not get invitation, they will not get notification if they are not on this platform. So let's go ahead and invite them to come and join us. Kennedy Festus, Olayinka Abraham, Fumi Jeboda, Modupe Mati Miloju, right, Mati Miloju. Welcome, Afolabi Victor. Lalona Adebayo says, thank you, Pastor, for teaching us how to be a good husband, a good father to our world. We are improving daily and getting better. Thank you. I'm sure your wife should be even happier now, huh? Fumi Jeboda said, love the look, sir. Sharp and on point. Yeah, I've got to stand for the men today. This whole week, I've got to stand for the men and look sharp for them. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go. Let's keep sharing the link. Let's go share the link with people. Let's go invite our friends. Let's invite them to join us. And yeah, especially those who will not receive the invitation. Let's let them know we're ready. We're waiting for them. And yep, so that we could start our teaching on time. Interesting topic today. Interesting topic. And I think this week has been interesting. This week has been interesting. I think this week is for the chosen. It's for the chosen ones. Since it's not on the public platform, I think somebody is lucky. Some people are handpicked by God to listen to these teachings. Both men and women, by the way. Both men and women. But so far, it's like the women are more enthusiastic. The ladies seems to be enthusiastic. The ladies seems to be enthusiastic. Well, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The topic of today is, and to the men, of course, I'm talking to the men, and I hope the men are listening to me. What a man must know before he marries. If we are already married, you still must know these things. So what a man needs to know before he marries. And that is the whole topic, but this week we've been talking more about what a lady wants to see in a future husband or in a husband, and what is a lady dreaming of. So today's message is, she is marrying for stability, reliability, and predictability. So when you see your girl and you like what you see, and you have your own agenda that I'm going to get her, before you become so focused on getting her, before you become so egocentric about her, and before you become so driven by her, please pay attention to this. First of all, answer yourself a few questions. You see, it's easy to look at a girl and like what you see. That is easy. That's the easy part. Your eyes, you just need to open your eyes and you like what you see. That's why you don't need to struggle. You only need to look. So it is easy to look at a girl and like what you see. But just liking what you see is not enough. Just liking what you see is not enough. Before you go ahead to kickstart the game, before you go ahead to talk to her, before you go ahead to try to woo her to your side or approach her, make sure you answer for yourself the following questions. And the question is, you must know what the lady is thinking. Because if any man approaches a woman, the woman is thinking, he's approaching me because he wants to give me this, this, this. He wants to give me this, this, this. He wants to give me this, this, this. He wants to give me. But the men are not thinking like that. The men are thinking, I like her, I want to have her. And I know that is offensive for the ladies who are here, and you know that is how men think. But I think you know that already. That it's unfortunate, but that's just how men think. Men are thinking in terms of having her, whereas she is thinking, when you go to her and say I love you, she is thinking that, oh, he loves me, so it means he wants to give me stability, he wants to give me reliability, he wants to give me predictability, he wants to give me love, he wants to give me covering, he wants to give me fatherhood, he wants to give me all that. That's what she's thinking. So in the mind of a woman, you are only approaching her because you are ready to serve her. In the mind of the woman, the reason why you are saying you love her is because you want to minister to her. You want to be able to do good to her. You want to show your kindness to her. You want to show her how much she's special. You want to help her become special. That is why she is thinking that you are approaching her. And that's why she thinks that you want to marry her. She is thinking you want to marry her to provide for her stability because you love her. You want to marry her to provide for her reliability because you love her. She is thinking you want to marry her because you are ready to provide for her predictability. Can you imagine what a shock that would be for a girl to now begin to discover that you even never thought about that? I mean, that would be such a slap in the face. That's like a slap in the face. That is like a slap in the face of the girl. That is like a slap in the face for the parents, for the mother, for the father, especially for the girl. And unfortunately, ladies, sorry for this, but I have to say it. And that's why you must think more. And you must not rush to marry, because unfortunately, this thing I'm going to say is true, even though it's not pleasant to hear. But the truth is that that man that is approaching you, that says he loves you, most likely he even never heard. He never even heard it, that he needs to provide stability. It never even came to his mind. It never even crossed his mind. He never even crossed his mind. He never thought about it at all. Maybe he didn't even think about stability for himself. Talk less of predictability or reliability. He didn't even think about it. He's thinking about his feelings. He's thinking about he's lost. He's thinking about the breast. He's thinking about the legs. He's thinking about the eyes. He's thinking about the hair. He's thinking about the figure. He's thinking about so on and so forth. And that is unfortunate. Now, not all men will fall into this category, but only like 10% of the men will even think that these things are possible. And those 10% is not because they are some special breed. It's just because maybe they taught them, maybe somebody had taught them, maybe their parents have taught them, maybe their mother has taught them, or maybe they saw a good example, or they have just been taught to be responsible. But not more than 10% of men even understand this in the first place. 10%, not more than 10%. By the way, please, if you have not shared the link yet, let's go ahead and share the link. You know, we have few people here on this platform. We only have 5,000, and so that's why we only have few people who could attend. So I would like to encourage you to go ahead and share the link now and write some comments, write some remarks as you are sharing the link so that as many people as possible will know where we are and come and find us. So let's go ahead and share the link and write our comments. Now, so I'm talking to the men this week, even though the men have not been so enthusiastic about my topic this week. The ladies have been more enthusiastic, much more happier than the men. But I think the men will think over it and appreciate what I'm saying later on. But this will really help them. This will really help them. So you know, for men, again, let me say that women, when they are thinking of marriage, they are not thinking about cooking for you. They are not thinking about sleeping with you. They are not thinking about making you happy in the sense that, because you are the one approaching them. They are not the ones looking for you. You are the one approaching them. You are the one looking for them. So the lady is considering you. Why does it take time for the lady to agree to marry you? Because the lady wants to think, and she's thinking about certain things. And some of the things that the lady is thinking about when she's thinking about marrying or agreeing to marry you or not to marry you is that she's thinking, would this man be able to provide for me stability? Would this man be able to give me a stable life? Will this man be able to provide for me reliability? Is he reliable enough? How reliable is he? Will I be able to rely on him? That is what the lady is thinking before she agrees. So, but unfortunately, most men have become experts in flattering. Most men have become experts in deceiving, in telling lies, and in telling us stories. And sadly enough, a lot of women believe those stories. They believe the stories and is telling the stories because men are thinking that women just like to believe stories. They will just like the stories, the good stories. And so men they've become experts in pretending. And that is why the topics that I spoke about all this week are so important for the men to go and watch, and for the women as well to go over those topics again, so that you will be sure that you are getting the full package, not just this one. But when you approach a lady, she's thinking about how much will you be able to supply, how much will you be able to supply stability, how much will you be able to supply reliability, how much reliable will you be in the marriage, in the relationship, how much will she be able to rely on you, how much will she be able to trust you, how much will she be able to totally forget herself and just rely on you and fall on your arms and be able to fall asleep. And also, she also wants to know, how predictable are you in all your actions, in all your deeds, in all your relationship with her, and in her future life. She wants to be able to know that you will be predictable, that you will be predictable. So those three things, please remember those three magical words for the woman. So for the men, the challenge now is to answer yourself those questions first. If you don't answer those questions to yourself, you must answer yourself those questions. Answer yourself those questions. How stable are you? How much stability can you provide? And like I said, you need to also be able to provide stability, not just by now. I mean, every man must be every man must be able to sit down by himself and say, okay, how much stability can I give this girl? And stability means, if I tell her to marry me, that at least I'll be able to tell her that I have a home, I have a house, and that is stable. That is not going to change. A lady must know that 1 month after, I'm even talking about 1 month, sometimes a week after wedding, that the landlady will not come and say, why have you not paid for 3 months? Come out of my house, come out, go out to the street. That will be catastrophic for any woman. So for you to be a man, please don't even go to her to say you love her if you don't already have a plan or a stable plan of how you are going to bring stability to your lives. Don't even go to her. Don't even talk to her. If you are going to talk to her, and then because sometimes for the lady, it's not so easy to be asking you, where are we going to live? Do you have a house for us? Also, sometimes the lady might be shy about that. Sometimes the lady might be ashamed of asking those kind of questions. So you yourself must be able to go to her and let her know about the preparations that you already made. You must let her know that you are coming to her with a plan of a stable life. You must come to her with understanding already that, look, this is what I have. Is this enough? Would this provide for you the stability that you have dreamt about? Because every woman also has her own dream. Every woman is also dreaming of a stable life by herself, even before you came to her. So you must tell her, this is what I have. Is this okay? Would this be good for our family? Would this be all right? So approaching her, or you already have the answer. You already have the answer and the solution. So a man who is a responsible man must sit down and say, okay, how do I prove stability to her? Emotional stability, that one you can prove it by by being responsible, by talking, by comforting her, by giving her assurance. But we are not talking of just emotional stability now. We are talking about real physical stability. So let's say she's in the university, for example. Like when I married my wife, she was living. Thank God. When I married, I wanted to tell you about the story of my wife, me and my wife when we married. My wife was living in Russia and I was living in Ukraine. And that is a big challenge, you see. And it means that for me to marry her, I needed to transfer her from a university where she was in Russia to Ukraine. That was a big headache. Even though I was a graduate already, I was working, but the amount that the school here in Ukraine was demanding was more than my 1 year budget. The amount to pay for a 1 year school is more than my whole salary for the year. So talk less of how much we are going to live by. So if I don't even touch my salary and I only give it up for school fees, it would just be enough to just pay for her school fees. So it's a question. So to go and meet a girl like that and tell her, okay, because she came from Nigeria on scholarship, she had the government scholarship, and now I'm telling her, marry me, which means she has to leave her school and forfeit her scholarship. And then or either she has to leave her school and forfeit her scholarship and move over to Ukraine and then lose the scholarship, or I have to come out one way or the other with the money to assure her that she will not lose that scholarship. And of course, when she told her parents said you cannot marry, because you should not marry while you are a student, because if you marry while you are a student, you can lose your scholarship. We don't want you to be uneducated or to not to finish your degree. So those kind of questions are the kinds of issues that you want to resolve, and you don't want to get to a place. Somebody is asking, Gregory Femi is saying, where were you working before? I was working at a television station. I'm a trained journalist. I got my master's degree in journalism, and I got a good degree, first class with honors. I got my first class with distinction, with honors, for journalism in masters. I did my masters in journalism, and I was supposed to go and do PhD, but I enter into the ministry instead. But I was working at a television station. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So to now go to her and say, okay, you will be living in Russia and I will be living in Ukraine, is not an act of a responsible man. I know a lot of people do it. I even know a lot of pastors do it. I know even some prominent pastors who send their wives to England, or they will send their wives to America, and they will be for 5 years, 10 years, and they will be in Nigeria and things like that. That is violating the stability that we are talking about, the stability factor. I think in the case of the pastors, though, I think those things happen later on in life, but maybe they never thought about that before the ladies agreed to marry. But, in my case, we were not married yet, and so we couldn't decide that together. It was not our common decision. So I needed to resolve the problem before I could assure her that she was going to, that she was, that I was going to marry her. Because that was the only question that the father raised, that you must finish your university. And then I had to give her and her parents and her family the assurance that she will not lose her education, that she will finish her university. To cut the long story short, God helping me, we were able to move her from one country to the other. So she forfeited her scholarship over there, but we were able to get her a similar university and the same faculty, the same degree that she was studying over there. She was able to move over here to Ukraine, and so we were able to live together. And that is just one question about stability, all right? The second question, which the parents didn't know anything about, this was her own question now, is that because my wife studied mechanical engineering. So studying mechanical engineering, she had a lot of drawing to do, mathematics, physics, all those things. So she was telling me, we cannot be pregnant, or there is no question. I don't want to be pregnant when I'm in the university. And she was only in her second year, and she was having a scholarship or for masters, so for 5 years, So she was starting her second year, so she still needed like 4 more years to go in the university to do a master's degree, and first degree and second degree. So, and so she said, I'm not going to be carrying baby while I'm in school. That is also a question of stability. That is a question of stability as well. So I needed to give her that stability and that assurance that she would not be pregnant, and she would not be pregnant while she's a student. She's a student. Because, it's a horrible thing maybe it's not a horrible for some people, but for me, it would have been a horrible thing for my wife to be a student in the university, or, second year or third year, and then carrying stomach and, pregnant, and, and she still had to go to classes. Some people do that as if, things that people do is just totally horrible. And thank God, I was also able to carry that out, to fulfill that promise. So, and of course, I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment before then, when I met her. But immediately I met her, I knew I was supposed to move to a 2-bedroom apartment. So I moved to because we're just going to be 2 of us. So we moved to a 2-bedroom apartment. After we married and all that. So, but before you approach a girl, make sure that you resolve all these issues. Make sure that you have resolved all these problems before you even approach her. So by the time you now approach her, you are just opening your card and letting her know that you have all these plans in place. Now, somebody will say, okay, but I cannot plan it because I don't know how much she will be making. Maybe she's having a good job, or she might have a good job, and then we are going to manage her own salary and my own salary, and then we'll plan together, and we'll start out together small, or whatever anybody said, humble beginning, and so she'll be making half of the money, I'll be making half of the money. That is not what a responsible man will say. That is not the kind of thing that a responsible man should say. You know what I told my wife? If you want to work, you don't need to work. You don't ever need to work, because before I came to approach you to be my wife, I'd already thought this through. I thought this through, that if she will never work, will I be able to take care of another person beside myself? Will I be able to take care of her? Will I be able to care for her? And I've already answered that question to myself. For myself, that yes, I will be able to take care of a family of two. So that is why I was able to marry. If you are not able to marry, I mean, if you know that your salary, your income is not enough to take care of another person, please don't go ahead and do it. Make sure that at least you have your income, hoping that our own salary will be enough, or your own salary, that okay, my own salary is not enough, okay, we are going to share it 50-50. She is going to pay for the apartment, I'm going to pay for the car, and all those things. It doesn't show a sign of responsible man. If you want to approach her, before you approach her, make sure that you have answered that question to yourself first, that I am able to take care of another person beside myself. I'm able to care for another person. In my own case, what I told my wife is that if she will make any other money and she will work, or she will just make money, she is free to keep her own money. Because some people were asking me the other day, what about if she's making money? Shouldn't she bring that money to the general family? She can, but I think it's more responsible, and it's more respectable for you as a man to let her keep her money. And if she wants to add some from her money to the general family purse, let her do that. But I wouldn't think that it's a responsible thing and it's a beautiful thing to be looking up to your wife and how much she's going to make, whereas she is not the one who approached you for marriage. You are the one who approached her for marriage. If you are the one who approached her for marriage, at least give her that benefit of a doubt. At least give her that reliability. Let her have that peace. Let her have that peace, that at least she would not need to be worrying about that. Now, things could happen later in life. You know, we don't know what might happen in life. Anything could happen in life, but you know, at least she will know, she will have something to fall back on. She will have something to fall back on. She will be able to say, I know he tried his best, or I know his heart, that he is a person that, you know, would have taken care if nothing has gone wrong. He would have done his best. He's a person that would like to do his best. And I mean, he did his best when he could. You know, there must be a credit history, you know, in your favor. There must be a track record that you have shown responsibility, that you have provided her with some assurance, with some stability. So before you approach a lady that you are going to marry her, please do your own work first. Make sure that you can provide her that stability. A lady needs stability in her home. She doesn't want to get married now, then later on, you know, discover that the landlady is chasing you people away from their house, and you know, is going, you know, it's not a beautiful sight for. Actually, psychologically, you know, women need stability. And one of the greatest concerns for women is that they don't like lack of predictability. They don't like when things are just chaotic, when things are not certain. She needs that security. She needs that stability. She needs to be able to know what to expect. Yeah. And if you have not married yet, or you have even married, you know, make sure that you give her that stability. Make sure that she knows at least, okay, even if you don't have, let her know she don't have this, but let her know what to expect. But it's better for you to have something, and to be able to, you need to be able to provide her that stability. And, you know, and what a woman cannot stand is for you to come up and say, okay, we are leaving from this out to the next out tomorrow, or, you know, I don't know, we don't know what to eat tomorrow. We will believe God for what to eat. There's nothing to eat. Women are always troubled by that. They are always, you know, disbalanced by that. You know, it breaks their confidence. It shakes their world. and it makes them to feel that their world is scattered and their world is falling apart. She wants to be able to rely on her husband. She wants to be able to have that security that says, I know what to expect. I know him. I know there will be no surprises. There will be no shocks. And I know things could happen in life, but at least when it is in your power, you must make sure that you provide that stability to her. You provide that stability and reliability. So those three things are necessary for any marriage. Any marriage needs stability, any marriage needs reliability, and any relationship needs predictability. So in form of stability, you must not just be stable financially. You must also provide stability for her in your words. You must be a person of your word. It's not a good thing for you to say, I'm coming back 10 o'clock in the evening or 7 o'clock in the evening, and then for the next 3 days, nobody can find you. And she's worried, she's troubled, and you say, but nothing happened now, but what is the problem? Why are you worried? Go and sleep now. But a lady in that kind of station, she will not be able to sleep. Because especially if she believed you that you say you are coming in 2 hours and you are not there in 2 days, it's going to cause a lot of trauma to that girl. Even though she might welcome you back and smile and still pretend as if everything is okay, but she's going through a lot of fundamental breaking in herself, and she's, her world is collapsing gradually. Her world is collapsing. So all these our main surprises, that I went, my friend came to town. I went, like for example, when we were married, one of the problem that I had, one of the mistakes that I made about talking about stability and predictability and reliability, I fumbled a little bit myself. Can you imagine? We were married. I was married with my wife. Then it was a time when we were having these Africans. Africans who come from Africa. They were not coming here to study or to live or to work, but they will be planning to go through Ukraine to the west. So they come from Africa to Eastern Europe, let's say Ukraine, and use this place as transit on their way to the west, to go to Germany, London, England, and some of them were Christians. Some of them happened to be Christian, and I was, I'm still naive. I'm not just naive. My wife would tell you that I'm still naive, very naive. But I used to be more naive before than I am naive now. I used to be very naive, and as a naive pastor, and all these guys said they were pastors, These are pastors from Nigeria. And one of these so-called pastors came to me one Sunday morning and said that he doesn't have a place to sleep. And, I wanted to be kind. You know what I did? I'm so ashamed of it now. We only had 2-bedroom apartment. I was there with my wife, newly wedded. What a shame. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I will forever be repenting of asking for forgiveness from my wife about this one. Anyway, bringing back memory. So, this guy will come. First of all, he will come and stay the whole day. And now the foolish mates, will sit down there with him, trying to honor him as a pastor. And 6 hours sitting down, praying together or discussing together, and he will not go. 12 o'clock in the night, this man has not gone. 2 o'clock in the night, sometimes this guy has not gone yet. And I will just notice that, why is it that my wife will always go and lock herself in the other room? Now I know better, but such a shame. And I would be expecting her to come out and offer, because this is what I saw back in Africa, you see, that whenever visitors are there, the women are always the ones running up and down from kitchen to the parlor, and it doesn't matter how she's feeling, it doesn't matter if she's happy, it doesn't matter if she's not happy, it doesn't matter if she's having a monthly menstruation, it doesn't matter how she's feeling. In Africa, the kind of picture you see is that the woman is always coming to greet visitors. Hello, especially the Yoruba. I'm a Yoruba guy. Especially the Yoruba culture where I come from. You expect the woman to always come out and greet the man of God or greet the visitor. Hello, sir. How are you, sir? All that. I'm bringing water, but I'm bringing food. What will you eat? What will you do this? My wife would just come out and bring some maybe juice or some water, put it there, and just disappear into her room. And I was always wondering, why is she disappearing? Come and sit with us now, or come and do this, come and ask what they will eat now, or that. I was getting frustrated on my own part that, I wanted my wife to show a good example to these men of God. But she was smarter as a lady. She knew that that was an intrusion. She knew that that was wrong for even those friends. And of course, the blame is on me because I'm supposed to be her husband. I was supposed to be protecting her, you see. I didn't. Shame. I never thought about it this way. I was putting culture above understanding, above insight. So instead of me to have realized that, although I'm now using this to teach others, but still, it's still a very bad thing, okay? It's still a very bad thing, very painful. We are less than 6 months, I think. Less than a year, at least, for sure. Less than a year in marriage. Maybe just a few months. Whew. And I didn't know that she was sitting down there. She was going to the room there in depression, I think now I know that any woman will be so painful. It will be so, and she was kind of quiet and she trying to behave. She's very smart, very, very smart, very wise. She will not do scandal. She will not do hysterics for me. She will not, make noise. She will just wait till everybody goes, and she will not even tell me anything afterwards. So it was later on that an older lady from our church, who I respected and my wife respected. I guess that my wife could have told her something. So she's the one. This lady almost came to kick out all my friends after 6 months. Can you believe it? So, but it was in the beginning that these friends, two pastor friends were coming, and they will be going to 12 o'clock midnight or 12 o'clock, 12 to midnight. But later on, one of them actually moved to our house. We had only 2 rooms. So I and my wife, we moved into one room and put him in another room. I put him in another, not my wife. It's not so easy for me to tell this story, right? Because I'm so much ashamed. Well, but the point I'm just trying to say is that, so thank God for Pastor Natasha. Pastor Natasha came and talked some sense into me that I was making my wife unhappy. And foolish me, I was thinking, but why now? The Bible says maybe you should be, what was that scripture in Hebrews I was quoting for her? You should be entertaining to visitors or to foreigners, to guests, because maybe you will that way entertain an angel. So just some out of place quotation of scriptures. So can you imagine? Foolish me, I was still quoting scriptures. But thank God, God gave that woman some wisdom to convince me that you are just a newly wedded family and couple. You don't do that. Don't do that. And as a result, she even helped me to get that man out of my house. And but that doesn't paint a good picture. A woman needs stability. And she needs not just stability, she needs that predictability. When I went to tell her to be my wife, I never told her that I will be bringing visitors to come and be living with us, so that instead of her to be married just to her husband and to just manage her own house, that she will be having some relatives or some friends or some people to be staying with her. I never promised her that. We never negotiated about that. And here I was with my surprise. Women don't like those kind of surprises. Women don't like those kind of surprises. Women don't like those kind of surprises. They want to be able to know that this family is their own. This home is their own home. And even if you want to take any decision like that, consult with her. And foolish me, do you think I consulted? If you thought I consulted with her, maybe I told her, but not consulted for sure. If I had consulted, she would have said no, definitely. But I didn't consult. I thought I was the head of the family. So you can now see where my lessons are coming from, because I've made some bad mistakes. I've made some bad mistakes. So a woman needs that stability. She doesn't like all those surprises that men give to, when they just do some unpredictable things. I mean, just, wake up in the morning and just disappear. Those things, they will break the heart of any woman. They will break the heart of any woman. A woman wants to know an answer to this question: what should I expect? She wants to know for sure. They want you to answer her. Or she wants you to answer her clearly. What should I expect? What should I expect in this relationship? Or what should I expect in the areas of our finances? Or what should I expect as a woman? What should I expect in the case of our children? What should I expect in the case of my family, of moving forward, of my ministry? What should I expect? Are there some surprises? Are there some shocks? Let her know everything. Sit down with her. Talk everything over with her. She wants to know what to expect. If you come out and say, okay, no, let's see, we'll see. A woman doesn't like we'll see so much. For us, we'll see means I'm trying, right? For the men, we say we'll see, let's see, we'll see. To us, that means we are trying, but for the woman, that means no lack of predictability. It means our world is shaking. Our words are shaking. It means our words are shaking. The feet is going from under her feet. It means there is no reliability. It means she cannot rely on what she is saying. She cannot rely on the person she has committed to live her life with. It means there is no predictability. She cannot predict what will happen tomorrow. And that kind of, it's not just a worry it brings to her life, but it makes her nervous and makes her almost sick. It makes our world almost shattered and scattered. A woman needs stability, predictability, and reliability. She must be sure. One of the ideas of marriage is that a woman wants to, she will not risk her life to go and get married to somebody if she knows that she will not have predictability and reliability. One of the very reasons that that motivates women to marry is because they need that stability. They are marrying you hoping that you will provide that stability. They are agreeing to marry you hoping that you will give them that predictability. They are hoping that with you in their life that stability will now come. But if you have told them that they will not have stability, they will not have predictability, they will not have reliability, she doesn't have any business going to that marriage in the first place. Now, some foolish women will do it because they don't think with their head, all right? They will say, oh, something will happen. But real women who are matured, who think, they will never agree to marry in such a situation. Because if she has married you, she's hoping to get that, reliability, predictability, and stability. And now she comes, everything is just falling up and upside down and falling apart. And you know what? That will throw her into depression. And so even your attitude of saying, no, we'll see, okay, let's wait and see, okay, well, I'm trying, all those things, it will get her to a place where she could even lose sleep. I mean, women lose sleep. She will be so worried. She will be nervous. She will be worried. She might not be able to sleep. She will not be able to get herself together. She will not be able to get her life together. She will not be able to sleep. She will not be able to relax. A woman needs that stability for her emotional balance and for her hormonal balance as well. She needs to be sure, to be rest assured that everything is okay before she can relax. One thing with women is that if she's not relaxed, if she's not confident that everything is okay, she cannot relax. If she's not sure that everything is fine, it's difficult for her to relax. So can you imagine that it's not just a little thing for 5 minutes that is not sure, but if she's concerned that her future is not certain, that her whole life is not assured, it's like saying, throwing somebody who has never swum, throwing her into the river and say, okay, go and swim. I mean, you want to kill her. So emotionally, a woman is destroyed. She is killed when she doesn't have certainty, when she doesn't have assurance, when she doesn't have that confidence that this man is after my good, this man is doing everything to provide for me a better future, this man is there for me and he will make sure that there are no surprises. That is why some women, they don't want to have second child or even first child if they cannot have that stability. And what men do to make the woman pregnant every month or every year or every 6 months, without having house to live in, without having a car, without without making adequate provisions. You are just killing that woman. She might not be talking, maybe because of the culture or because of the fear of keeping a marriage, because on the other hand, every woman wants to keep a marriage together. So she might not be talking and she might be enduring, but she's actually dying. She's actually dying within herself gradually. I mean, and for a man to say, "Oh, I don't work, I don't have a work, and no job. I don't know where to go get a job." So, a lot of families are destroyed because of this. Not because of job, and it's not because of money, but it's because of that lack of predictability. The fact that she cannot predict what will happen tomorrow. The fact that she cannot predict what he would do. I mean, how can a woman, a woman is totally shattered when a man is lying down there on bed, not even making any attempt to go and walk and bring something to the table. It's just because of that uncertainty. It's just because of that instability, that lack of reliability. That is what makes those marriages to fall apart, because she doesn't know what to expect. So the fact that you cannot answer her concrete questions, those things could destroy a woman. Those things could destroy a woman. Men are much more. For men, it's easier in this sense, all right? Men are made for adventures, but women are not made for adventures. That's why women feel better keeping the house, taking care of the children, but not going for hunting, not going to hunt for animals, or not going for war, not going to the battlefield, because they are not made for that. They are made for more of a secure life. That's why men go to war in the first place. Men go to war to secure the home for their wives. Men go to war to secure homes for their children. Men go to war to bring about stability to their country, to their nation, and so that their wives and children would never be worried about, being secured, and about stability, and about, their future, so that they will always be, be certain and be assured about their future. That's why men go to war. So it is all about the different roles of people. Men go to hunt, men go to war, men go to fight, men go to struggle, men go on adventure, so that they will assure stability to the man, to the woman, so that they will assure that the woman is safe. She's not worrying, she's not concerned, she's not troubled. The stability is needed in the house, and stability, the woman needs stability. Any woman needs stability. It doesn't matter how well she's doing. Some people will say, oh, but she can go to work by herself, or she can do this by herself, or she's no, we can tell her a lot of stories. Right? Okay, let her do it. Let her take responsibility. But she still wants to know your own position, because marriage to her means to follow the husband. So she had decided to give her life up to you, to follow you. So if you must be a hero to her. The good thing is to be a hero to your wife. And for you to be a hero to her, you've got to keep your word to her. You've got to try your best. At least you must see that you are trying your best. So it doesn't matter how strong a woman is. It doesn't matter how prosperous she is or how well she's doing. She doesn't need surprises. She doesn't need surprises from men. Women don't like surprises from men. But on the other hand, they like surprises. Let's talk about surprises. On the other hand, they like surprises, but only good surprises. I think it's because of the need of the woman for stability, reliability, and predictability that now makes it very pleasant to them when you surprise them, pleasantly. So those flowers that we give women, or those cards that we write for them, or those just some romantic things we do, they are needed, especially when they are coming as a pleasant surprise. So when you come back behind her and give her a hug, or when you touch her and when you call her, so those little surprises, they bring some light into our life. They bring some light into our life. So that's why women like romance. They like to be romantic. What is romantic? Is doing some little surprises. So because they like stability, they know that everything is going to be like this, very good on one hand. But on the other hand, they like surprises, but that are pleasant. So because they are so used to living a stable life, a stable expectation. So when you do something out of the blue, when you do something unexpected for them, it really touches them to tears, and it makes them to open up themselves to you, and they know that you are thinking about them. They know that you want to do them pleasant. You want to give them some pleasantry. You want to give them some pleasure. You want to give them joy. So that makes them happy. And so there is another side to surprises, right? So they don't need bad surprises, but they need good surprises. Now somebody is saying Nigerian women don't need flowers, but it might not be flowers. Maybe just touch. Maybe just call. Maybe just stroking your hand on her head sometimes. Maybe just holding her hand sometimes. Little things sometimes, just for you to just show us some pleasant. Your presence in a pleasant way, in a surprising way, in a way that will make her feel special, that you are thinking about her, that she's not forgotten, and that she matters to you. So a woman needs that. Another area where a woman needs security is emotionally. A woman needs emotional security, and she doesn't want a woman doesn't want a man that will sit her down and be reading and be telling her what she's doing wrong. A woman does not need a man that will be sitting at her every Monday or every Tuesday or every Friday and be telling her everything she's look, any woman that marries, she agreed to marry you not because she needs to go and get adult education. So marriage is not a place for adult education, because I know that a lot of men, we are hoping that we will change her. I will change her. Okay, let her do anything she wants now. I will change her. That is going to be one of the greatest shocks and surprises a woman could be given. That would be like a dirty slap on the face of a woman when you are running after her, when you are trying to woo her to marry you. You were telling her all the good things. You were telling her how special she will be. And then she came to your house and became your wife. And now you are telling her to sit down, and you are going to be telling her, okay, on Monday you do this, on Tuesday do this. This is how you must treat my family. This is how you must talk to my mother. This is how you must talk to my brothers. This is how you must talk to my sister, to my mother, to my uncle. This is how you must behave with my children. This is how you must behave. By the way, you must realize that your wife is not your slave. Your wife is your partner. Treat her like a partner. I know that in African culture, that is a strange concept, that a wife is an equal partner. But that is the biblical concept. A wife is an equal partner in the New Testament. So treat her like a partner. Don't be treating her like a little child. You know, your wife is not your child. She's not your baby. Even though you are supposed to be a father to her, but that doesn't mean you should look down on her. Or as on right level, you are the same. You are partners. And so nobody has the right to sit a woman down and be reading her lectures and be telling her, be rebuking her or be scolding her or be, telling her how to behave. That kills something in a woman. That kills something in a woman. That is just like abuse as well. It's as good as an abuse morally. Especially when you are saying, I'm the head of the family. I told you, sit down there. I will tell you now. Sit down there. I will come and see you now. I'm coming to talk. That way you are bringing fear to your family. Because she will be living in fear. And some families and some men believe that we must make the woman fear. You must make her fear you immediately. I even heard that some mothers advise their sons to make sure that they get the respect of the lady immediately. Make her fear you. Tell her what you think. Put her down. Talk to her. Discipline her. Discipline your wife? Yeah, I heard that some people even discipline their wife. As if just the way they discipline their children, they discipline the wife. So never, please never do that. Please never do that. Please don't let it ever even cross your mind. You are not dealing with a kid. You are not dealing with you are dealing with a human being, with an adult that had her own life before you came to her life, that had her freedom, that lived her own life, that was satisfied with her life, or at least she was living before you came into her life. She was a normal person. So to now be saying you are going to discipline her, who are you to discipline her? I mean, they just, okay, well, let's turn that around. Let her now say she can discipline you. So, we are not into that game. We shouldn't play that game with any woman. I mean, don't do that. That is an embarrassment. That would be a shame. That would be a disgrace to say you are going to discipline your wife and you are going to really to be telling her lectures. It's not. She didn't go to primary school, or she didn't marry a headmaster or a principal, a school director. That was not your agreement. You asked her to become your wife. You didn't ask her to become a student in your school. You didn't ask her to become a student in your school. So don't destroy her value. Let me tell you something about women. Every woman, no matter how beautiful she is, no matter how wonderful she is, every woman already have an issue with self-esteem. Every woman always struggle with some self-esteem or the other, one way or the other. So any negative thing you tell a woman, that is killing that self-esteem even the more. And let me tell you what, we men, we don't feel psychological pain and emotional pain or trauma as much as the women feel it. You see, let me tell you something. The women, they feel emotional pain 14 times more intensely than man feels. Like, for example, if a man comes to me and say, you are not handsome or you don't look nice, I don't look nice. Is that your problem? Come on for road, Joe. You just leave me. Come out of here. What's your own? Is that your problem? I look nice. I don't look nice. Not your problem. Come out. So just get out of my way. But if you tell a lady that you don't look nice or you look terrible or you are not beautiful, oh wow. Whatever pain a man feels, that woman is feeling it 14 times more. In fact, some women will tell you that it's even better for you to beat them physically than to be scolding them or rebuking them or, reading lectures to them or to try to scorn them, chastise them with words. Because the way they are whatever, the hormones glands, the glands that are responsible for the hormones, the way they work is that they intensify their feelings. So that's why women are more emotional. More emotional. So never you rebuke. I mean, the way I learned this is this. Can you imagine? I thought I was talking normally, to my wife, but she was hearing me screaming. And I if you ask me, I would say I never scream at my wife. But I thought I was just talking to her. Each time I talk to her, but I talk firm or strong, she is feeling it as screaming. And screaming, and I mean the way she will respond and react, it just shocks me. Because everything I've said is being magnified like 14 times inside her, in her own feelings, in her own emotions. So it's just breaking down our wall. So that is destroying the stability. That is destroying the predictability. That is destroying the reliability. She will not be able to rely on you. If you are the type that is bringing emotional pain to her, if you are bringing disruption in her feelings, in her emotions, she will never really feel secured. So emotional security, emotional reliability is needed for the woman. That guard our emotions, protect our emotions. One of the ways to protect the emotion of a woman is never to shout at her. Never even raise your voice, because sometimes you are not shouting. We men, we might be strong. We might want to make a point strongly, but we are not shouting in our own understanding, but just trying to say something to her that is already shouting. So protect the emotions of your wife. Protect the emotion of the lady. Make sure you even bring that voice down specially and just talk to her coolly. Another way you are destroying a life and a stability is by trying to, what was the word I used? By trying to correct her, or to chasten her, or to rebuke her, or to correct her as if she's a kid, as if she's a child. When you do that, you shatter her world. That she will not have stability. And when a woman doesn't have emotional stability, when she cannot feel peace among herself. She cannot feel harmony, and it's just like her world is scattered. It doesn't matter how much cars you give her after that. It doesn't matter how much house you put her in or how beautiful the house is. If emotionally you have destabilized her, if emotionally you have not secured her, you have not given her security, you have not given her emotional protection, you must make sure you got, just like the Bible says, protect your heart, because that's where your life comes from, right? The issue of life is coming from. That's the way emotions of women must be protected. So let's make sure that we are specially guarding and guiding the emotions of our ladies and of our women. Never shout. Never not just shout. Never lift your voice, because she feels everything 14 times. 14 times harder, harsher than we actually intended it, or than we say it. If you say, even if you are intending to tell her good things, like she's dressed something you don't like, and you say, oh, you don't look too nice on this thing, make sure that you find a way to say it in a way that is not critical. In fact, it is destructive to try to criticize and put a woman down. When you do that, you also destroy her emotionally. So you might suggest to her, in fact, what I've discovered and what I teach my men here is that never criticize a woman or your woman, especially your wife or your, or your fiancé, or just suggest to her. So if you want to correct her in something, rather say it as a suggestion, or say it as if it's your own opinion. That or say it just as if you are just saying it. If she will look at it, let her look at it as if she will just let her take a decision that, okay, I'm just suggesting this, or I'm thinking about this. What about this? What about look at it this way? Or that might not be the best something. Or just like suggestion, just like an idea you are giving to her, but not like saying, oh, you look horrible, or you don't look great. She might not recover from it for the next 1 year. Especially those emotional traumas. That's why anytime you have disagreement, that's what I discovered. Anytime we have disagreement, my wife will remember some harsh word that I spoke some time back or some negative things, even though maybe she must have spoken some things as well, or maybe she had done some things that are wrong as well to me or said some things. But if the pain that I feel, the pain that a man feels is nothing compared to the pain a woman feels. In the matter of a man, it only hurts our pride. It hurts our pride. But for the woman, it destroys her self-esteem. It destroys her confidence. It destroys her self-value. It destroys her sense of self-worth. It destroys her emotionally, mentally. It just ruins our world. So it's like 14 times more detrimental, more disastrous than what we feel as a man, as men. So emotionally, you need to protect. Yeah, security, physical security is good, but emotional security might even be more important for the woman. Might even be more important for the woman. Yeah, if you want to give her surprises, only pleasant surprises. Only pleasant surprises. But don't, make sure you protect her emotions and her feelings. So, because, like I said, women are going to that relationship hoping that you will be the one to give them reliability, that you will be the one to give them security, stability, to give them predictability. But now to be the one now spoiling even the one they had before or destroying the one they had before will be too painful for her. Will be too painful because from you, she's not expecting that. From you, she's expecting the opposite. She's expecting the help, the support, the stability, the reliability, and the predictability. So for you now to be the one that is destroying her little self-worth that she had, it's just like killing her. It's like killing her morally. What's the time, by the way? Oh, wow. Ooh. My time is up. My time is up. So if you have not shared the link yet, please go ahead and share this link. Let's look for the link to this message. Go look for the link to this message. And let's go share it. Let's go share the link, please. And by the way, if you are a man and you have a girl or you have girls as your children, also don't destroy her emotionally. Don't wreck her emotions. Don't wreck her feelings. If you are, the one that is always beating her, always scolding her, especially emotionally, always speaking harsh word to her, and always, trying to correct her, rebuke her, and say harsh word to them. By the time you realize it, she will run away at 16, or if she doesn't run away at 17 or 14 or even, that's what makes girls to want to run away from the home, because emotionally they are being shattered. And when they don't feel that security, when they don't feel that reliability, when they don't feel that, protection, security in their own home, they want to run away. They are looking for a man outside that will give them that kind of protection and that kind of reliability. Even if they are your children, they want to run away. And they will run into the wrong hands, and which will make things worse for them. But, they don't know that, but because they just want to escape. So if you don't want your daughters to run away from home and to escape looking for security elsewhere, and which could lead them into a very bad relationship, please, be softer with the girls, be kinder to the girls, and give them some protection, give them some care, give them give them that stability, that reliability, that predictability. If they have it from home, then they will not fall into the wrong hands. When they leave home, they will not fall into the wrong hands, because they know what protection is, they know what stability is, they know what security is. But if they feel bad at home, they will want to run away, and they will always run into the wrong hands, and they will always get a worse case than whatever they had at home. Well, if you have shared the links, if you have shared the link to this message, please, as you are sharing it, make sure you write some comments as well, so that people, because when you just share it without writing comments, people don't know what to expect, so they will not even go and watch it. But if you have already shared it, make sure you also go ahead and write some comments, whatever you feel, or if you think this will be a blessing to people, why don't you write a few words as as your remark or comment under the thing that you have shared, and maybe some people will be blessed. Maybe this is what some people need. Who knows? Okay, let me hear your opinion. What are you thinking about this message, by the way? Let me hear what you think. Let me read some of your comments here. Let me read some of your comments. Jefferson Uzoma says, I learned that a long time ago to never raise my voice at her, and when I do, I immediately apologize. When you do, try not to raise your voice. It's better. The fact that you apologize, the damage has been done. If you raise your voice at your girlfriend or your wife, and then you come and apologize later on, even though she will say she's forgiving you and she's receiving your apology, but the hurt and the damage has been recorded on our subconscious. It has been recorded in our emotions. It has been recorded in her, and she's carrying that scar with her. So why don't we just try to restrain ourselves from shouting and from rebuking, from raising our voice at our wives? You see, Jennifer Ashebe said, it is heartbreaking when we do that. It's a lady, she said it's heartbreaking. Bidemi says, Pastor, as you are teaching now, you are mending already damaged relationships. Thank God, thank God. Gift says, Doctor, you are too much. God, okay, thank God for the womb that gave back to you, that gave birth to you. Thank you, thank you. Daniel says, again, ladies, when you observe that a man is not in a good mood, please sometimes give them space to de-escalate the emotion. So you want to put the responsibility on the woman again. I think that the man should start with herself. If you say you are in a good mood and she's coming to trouble you, why don't you walk out of the room or walk out of the house and go and take fresh air? Why is it that she is the one to walk away? Men are actually, it's easier for men to control their emotions, by the way, than the woman. So telling the woman to be the one to control the situation is much more harder for her, because it's already hard for her to control her emotions. It's better for the one for whom it is easier to control emotions to be the one to walk out or to keep quiet. So it's easier and it's better for the man to be the one that will walk out or keep quiet. Eric Prince says, yes, today is for men. Talk to ladies also about marriage and how to respect their husband. We already agreed on that these 2 weeks I will talk about the men, and next 2 weeks I will talk about the women. Okay, I think what I will do is this. Since all you men are, every day the men are telling me, both in the morning and the evening, to talk about the woman also, talk about the woman also, talk about the... Okay, I think what we will do is this. Let me finish this one at least. Let me talk till Sunday about the women, about what the women expect from the men. Then about the men. Let me talk about the men this week and what the men should do to the women. Then next week, instead of doing 2 weeks straight, I know that the men will not survive it, so that I don't run all the men away from my platform. Instead of doing it for 2 weeks straight, I think I will just do it for 1 week, and then I will do next week for the women, what the women should do to get ready for marriage, and then so that at least there will be some form of balance. Then maybe if need be, I could come back to the men again and then come back to the women again. Maybe that's the way we should do it, because you people are so nervous. I'm surprised. Fumilayo Agape says, and when the love is broken, it's hard to bring it back. Almost impossible. Yep. Daniel says, all men hate delays and time wasting. Ladies, try to reduce the time you spend applying mascara and eye pencil. This will reduce the boiling spot in the marriage. You cannot, Daniel, you don't want to have patience. Let's finish with you men first before we get to the women. Anything I say, Daniel is commenting and making all the women to what the women should do. Layo Charles Emmanuel says, women never forget, really. 1 year is nothing. Forever, they don't forget. Ever that woman will feel shattered except something drastic happens to lift her up. She might remember the hurt, the shouting, and the pain forever. Wow. Bobo said, this teaching is very deep indeed. Gladys says, that is true. Harsh words is difficult for the woman to forget or move on from. Elizabeth said, women don't forget those pains. They are so bad. O.T. Caro is clapping. Say, bravo, Pastor Sunday. I'm sweating river right now. But don't just sweat river. Go to your wife. And if you need to apologize or you need to do something for your wife to know that a change is coming or a change is already taking place. Go and, let her know that you are changing. Don't just sweat river, but go ahead and change. Flair Karin Matip says, so to be a married man, you need strong shoulders. Yes, that's why I said, I'd said it initially that marriage is a very highly responsible enterprise. And that 50% of men and women who are in marriage today, they don't have anything to do there. Because they are not prepared. They don't even know what it entails. That, 50%, that's my own statistics, 50% of people who are going to marriage or who are already in marriage, they are not supposed to be there. Because they are not prepared. It's not because God doesn't want people to marry, but because people are not ready. It will only lead to catastrophic ending. And that's what has been happening. Shigon Warford says, you spoke so much sense. I know these things are so true. I pray it saves some people because it's not a good place to step on at all. Yeah, I think so. Yetunde says, they say once bitten, twice shy. For me, it's once bitten, forever shy. Wow. Yeah, and I think it's not just you. I think it's for all ladies as well. Eric says, thank you, sir. This message is bringing transformation to my family. Thank God. Ngoya Sharis, truly, Pastor, this session was for me. Amazing how well you know women. Any man who should be interested in the slightest way, I will send them to you right away. Okay. I'm ready to do the job. We are going to take them to give exams first. You are just amazing. I cannot put it into words. Wow. And you teach with so much grace, not making the men look foolish, but teaching and instructing them with love. Well, I hope so. Some men here are not very happy with me, but I hope they appreciate it. Molly says, thank you, sir. I'm blessed with this message. Love you, sir. Thank you. Pearl David says, Pastor. I love you, or what? You are the best natural resource from Nigeria. Okay. Yeah. Thank God I'm Nigerian. Fumilayo say, thank you so much, sir, for this teaching. Much needed for all homes. Charity begins at home. When home is stable, it will reflect with association outside. God bless you, sir. Elizabeth says, women, we must stop commenting so the men can have space to talk. Why should you stop commenting? No, you shouldn't stop commenting. No, go ahead and comment. There is enough space for both men and women. So don't give up your space for another person. No, everybody has equal right here. The buffooness buffoon. Wow, what a blessing to hear relatively classic understanding and the other better view. I have seen lots of my faults as well as strength. Value added again. Thank you, Dr. Adelaja. Yeah, Afolabi said, Doctor is teaching us on womentology tonight. It's not just tonight. I think the whole week. It's a good word you came up with, womentology. Shinwe said, Pastor Adelaja, you are a blessing to our generation. Thank you. Thank you too. Princess says, Pastor Adelaja is more intelligent than the CIA, FBI, and all those agents put together. Wow. Justine says, I love this marriage seminar. So it's a marriage seminar. Okay. Through Facebook. Yetunde says, thank you, Dr. Adelaja. You are a father to many and a wonderful mentor as well. The things you are teaching tonight, money can never buy. I believe it will help our married couples and our singles. Revelation by excellence. Thank you. Favored Major says, this is an eye-opener, sir. Some of what you shared today I'm guilty of, but I'm blessed now. Thank you, Favor. Thank you for telling the truth. Now, you have to start with apology to your wife, okay? Let's start with apology and then, change our attitude from there. Bobo says, amazing teaching. I'm glad I have the privilege of listening to your teachings. This gives me tools to do due diligence when making critical decisions about one's life. Thank you, Pastor, for sharing your life with us. Thank you. Bidemi said, with this teaching, Dr. Adelaja, my relationship has been rescued. I have started lavishing love on her. By the time I'm done, she will truly know that Dr. Adelaja is my mentor. Oh, that is nice. I celebrate you, sir. Thank you. Okay, Modupe says, this is mind-blowing message. Thank you, Pastor. I hope all men are listening. Steve Osarity said, thank you, Pastor. You are really a role model and a pace setter. Anthony says, we have heard. We have listened well. Eric says, every man turning point is based on information. Sunday Adelaja is a mentor that turns your years of mistakes to a time of recovery. Thank you, sir. Obio Jimadu said, men with daughters, please give them attention and be close to them. Girls that run for sugar daddies are mostly those who never had a real father figure in their lives. Yeah. A lady is always in search of a father figure for protection, even in marriage. That is so true. And that is one of the reasons why women engage in extramarital affairs, because they need a father. Jefferson Uzova said, we are making changes immediately. Beautiful. Gladys Unshang said, thank you, sir, for your honesty. I'm just so blessed. Powerful preaching. More grace, sir. Thank you. Unkiro Jibadu says, some women can nag too. I used to be one like that. Yeah, well, we need to change, all of us. Yetunde Awole say, praise God for your gifting. It's setting a lot of people free right now and mending almost broken homes. Please say a word of prayer for all marriages represented here in this platform. You know what? I'm not going to pray especially because I want to deliver people from the expectation that prayer will fix what they are supposed to work on. So I want people to rather go and work on their marriage rather than to pray that God should come and do what they are supposed to do. Justine says, telling a woman to control her emotions is like pouring oil on the fire. Layo Emmanuel says, wow, 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 wow. I guess Pastor Sunday will be remembered as one of the greatest advocates for women in history. This is so healing and soothing to all women, especially those who have had to suffer from one form of ignorance or the other on the part of their husbands. And this is almost applicable to all men world over, if we must be frank. Yeah. Elizabeth Ali, Your Royal Highness, I know what I'm saying. Yvonne Morgan, please say a prayer for me. I am very confused as to what path to take. Father, give Yvonne your divine leading. Give her your wisdom. Give her your insight. And lead her right, Father, in Jesus' name. Daniel said, dear men, please kindly give attention to your daughters, because the way you treat your daughters will determine how she will cope in a relationship, right? Shari says, I have seen my parents leave everything you've explained not to do. Seeing my mom become desperate and so broken. Oh, wow. But now I have radars that notice the wrong hands from afar. Thank you for sharpening my antenna so I can immediately distinguish the wise from the fool. Brilliant. Beate Mueller, when should the woman be responsible for the man's emotion? No, she shouldn't be the one responsible for that. Let the man himself take over his own emotion. Nkiru said, Pastor, you have nailed it again. Men's genes are changing here on this platform. Thank God. Gift says, thank you, my mentor, pastor, teacher, doctor, for mending broken relationship. This message has to go as marriage counseling for men's department especially. Okay. Bolaji Martins, thank you so much. It is healing. It is a healing process for me. Never thought anyone understands the pain. May the Lord bless you, sir. Christina Lampe says, my father always says to use gloves with women because women are like crystals and diamonds. If it breaks, it will never again be good. Right. Jefferson said, Pastor, you have changed me in many ways so far. I can only imagine how much I will change over the next 2 weeks. Well, now we have changed our mind and we have said we are going to do it just for this week, and next week we are going to do for the women, because every day men are telling me to do, to talk about women. So Princess says, all you singles on this platform are blessed to have Pastor Sunday talk about these topics. These are highly classified messages. God bless you so much, sir. Yetunde said, it shows Dr. Adelaja that you really want the best for us, your mentees. Thanks for this transforming, life-changing, soul-inspiring message. I'm so blessed by it. All singles on this platform, make sure you send your prospects to be tried and tested by Dr. Adelaja before you marry. Pearl say, Pastor, before I marry, if I am to marry at all, he must come to you for inspection. Elizabeth says, Pastor, my husband is coming for 1 year training with you first. Thank you so much for the love. Onyeye says, thank you, sir. Daniel, men, we are not seeing your comments. This is for us. Pearl is a glory to God on the testimony so far in the comments by men. Lalola Debayo, I have learned new principles about how a man should conduct himself in a marriage and at home by ensuring there is stability, reliability, and predictability. I ensure to work on all the aforementioned points to further improve myself. Thanks for opening our eyes to our past mistakes, and correction will follow from now on. Brilliant, brilliant. Daniel said, we shall nominate Dr. Adelaja for Nobel Prize next year. They don't give Nobel Prize to preachers or for preaching. Elizabeth Ali, that's what some pastors use to cover prayers. They just want to pray about everything instead of teaching people to live right. Christina Lampe say, write the book, Pastor. It will be a bestseller. Fumi Jepoda say, yes, so we are all coming to Kyiv. Our men are coming to Kyiv for a year. All right, guys. Our time is up. Our time is over today. I will be back tomorrow morning. And thank you for your time. Thank you for the comments. Please go ahead and spread the word. Send it to people in their inboxes. Tag them, and let's invite people to this new platform. God bless you guys. Good night.